Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble Home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I am looking for, I always check Humble Home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup, they literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They are opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited. I'm Kayla Keith, and this is Missing Midwest. We are going out of the Midwest today. We are actually going to the ocean.
Whoa.
We are talking about the cruise ship disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley. Hello.
Hey,
What's up?
I chimed in on your
You
intro.
did.
I'm sorry. I've never done it before.
I was annoying.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
I was like, what are you doing here?
The ocean?
This is my intro. Get out. Yeah, we're going to the ocean. A cruise ship.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you meant like somebody like...
This is the reason I don't go on cruises.
Okay.
One of the many
I
reasons.
went on a cruise when I was like 5 or 6.
Absolutely never will I ever.
Really?
No, I don't want
I
to.
feel like when we get old, we might change our minds.
I don't like the ocean.
If we've had a good life, we'll just call it in on the cruise.
People go missing on them. Hence my story today.
Taking kids on a cruise, that might creep me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Going on a
terrifying.
cruise, like just me and you, that sounds like a little bit of fun.
We'll see. Announcements. Oh
Guys,
my gosh. Are
we
we
are
going to tell them?
We're so close.
We are going to... So Monday.
This is releasing on a Saturday. 2
yeah,
days from now.
Today is Saturday. Monday, July 1st, will be 1 year of Missing Midwest, which is so
Crazy.
exciting.
That's mind-blowing.
I mean, a year ago, I was like, hey, I'm going to do a podcast. And
You announced it last year on your birthday in March.
We jumped in and we did it. And
Here we are.
We're a year in. We have a subscription service. We have merch.
Yeah.
We have people that actually listen to us.
Shout out to you guys. In
Thanks
fact,
for listening to
in
us.
terms of listening, we are so close to 20,000. Kind of a while ago, like at the beginning of the year, we were like, I want 20,000 downloads before we hit our year mark. And we are so close.
We were like, that's doable. And as we've been getting close, it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be close. When I say close, like 200 downloads close.
Yeah, so be watching our social medias because we're definitely going to have an update on Sunday.
I'm really even if we don't get 20,000 by Sunday, like we'll get 20,000 by like Monday at noon.
Yeah, that close.
It'll matter to me to get 20,000.
Like if we go based
within the year
on like daily averages for like certain days of the week, it's going to be like so close. So close.
And details matter to me. So to be able to say we got $20,000 in the first, or $20,000, that would be sweet too.
Yeah.
20,000 downloads within the first year. That would be awesome.
That would make me very happy as well.
So please share this episode.
Yes.
Literally 5 extra downloads might be all that we need.
Seriously, it's that close. Tell one friend. Tell one single true crime friend.
Seriously, speaking of that though, like telling your friends is the best thing you can do for us. That is how we get the most, the biggest, like, what am I saying? Like network coverage.
There you go.
Response. Advertisement is word of mouth.
Yeah.
Advertisement. Yeah, the best advertisement is word of mouth. So please like it, share it. We have social medias. Follow us on there.
Instagram, Facebook. Are we on anything else? TikTok. We're on TikTok. We haven't posted on TikTok in a long time.
We should.
We should post more on TikTok for sure.
Add that to my very long to-do list.
There you go.
$5 subscriptions.
I was gonna say subscriptions of $5.
Something that I didn't. When I came to this, came with this idea to Johnny about doing a podcast. I was like, eventually we could have a subscription service, And
Missing Midwest went so good in the first 2 months. We were like,
literally
let's do
jumped
it.
right in on the subscription.
Let's go.
I didn't think we would have one in the first year. We had it in the first like 2 months.
Yeah.
Because
True
it's
story.
fun, and you're never gonna have to talk me into talking about murder. So I'm here for it. True crime all the time for me.
Let's roll. I like it.
So I'm ready for today's case.
How many Dollar Generals are on this cruise ship you're about to tell us about?
There were no Dollar Generals.
How many Dollar Generals in the ocean?
There was no Dollar Generals in the ocean because the ocean's a scary place.
Gee whiz.
Any place with no Dollar General is no place I want to be. That is for sure. So this is a pretty well-known case. It's very suspicious. A lot of speculation and theories around it. And you know, one of the things that intrigues me the most about missing people is that you just never know. You never truly know what could happen. Like, did they leave on their own? Was it an accident? Self-harm? Foul play? Even if the evidence, and even if it looks 100%, 99% like this person unalived themselves, you cannot, without a body, you can't fully say that. There's still a chance that foul play was involved.
True.
And that's just one of the things that I just love about cases, you know, like you never freaking know. You can't 100% say in a missing person case that we know what happened. We can say we think we know what happened. We are pretty sure we know what happened.
I would say coming up on a year, like we're about to hit the year mark, out of all the cases we've done, maybe like 2 or 3 do I think the most like plausible possibility was suicide. And even at that point, I wouldn't say it's
you can't rule out other things.
Exactly.
Nope, you never can. Missing, and like I said, there's always that 1% chance, less than 1% chance that you're wrong, that they are still alive. Missing people turn up alive all the time, actually, and so you can never rule anything out. And I think that's what draws people to true crime, to missing person cases.
The mystery, the puzzle.
We all like a puzzle. We all like a mystery, which is good. It's a
I
good
love it.
thing.
I love it when my dad is like, guys, I've got some theories that I'll have to talk to you about
I
later.
know.
Like, shout out to my
it.
dad.
I
love
when people want to talk to me about the cases that I did. I'm like, please tell me what you think, because I'm confused. I'm baffled. I don't know. But I think that it's a good thing that true crime has like become so popular in these past few years.
Awareness, man.
The murder stories, those I think are, you know, some people are like, oh, you shouldn't like, what is that called? Like, you shouldn't glorify murder and crime. And it's like, I think that those help people become more aware, be more safe, be more pre-paranoid,
well,
I like
also,
to say.
These victims deserve their story to be told.
Yeah, and so with the murder cases, I think that's good. And then I think with the missing cases, it's good because obviously the more people that hear about those, the more the better. And so getting the word out, that's just important.
With this long of an intro, I bet this is a banger case here. I'm ready to hear about it.
I'm just on a tangent. It's not really an intro.
I'm here about the cruise ship thing. The whole concept of it intrigues me.
I know. I just was, when I was redoing this story, it's like, I'm going outside of the Midwest here, and I was like, I shouldn't go outside the Midwest because you're missing Midwest. And then I was like, wait, this is your podcast and you can do whatever you want. Also,
on a cruise ship, there was several people from the Midwest there.
Probably. If you want me to tie it back to the Midwest, there was probably someone from the Midwest there. And so this is my podcast. So here I am doing something outside the Midwest. And you know what? We're hitting a year. Maybe I'll do more outside the Midwest. I don't know.
We're still going to do Midwest stuff, though.
Oh, I know. I'm doing what I want tonight, though.
Okay, go for it.
So, Amy Lynn Bradley. She was born on May 12th, 1974 in Petersburg, Virginia. The crime did not happen in Petersburg, Virginia, but for all of my fans out there, there were $6 generals in Petersburg, Virginia.
I think everybody was worried about it.
I went ahead and looked it up for you. 33,000 population there. Completely irrelevant information. But Amy attended a local college, Longwood University. She was graduating with a degree in physical education. She had a basketball scholarship. She was really athletic.
Okay.
She was known for her strong swimming abilities, and she was a lifeguard. She was planning to start a new job at a computer consulting firm after she graduated. Despite being such a good swimmer, she was afraid of the ocean. And she actually had to be persuaded by her family to join them on this cruise. Her dad had actually won the cruise through like a work thing, and so they decided to make it a family vacation. And they decided that they were all just gonna go, and they had to persuade Amy to join. Like, she was in college, she wasn't like.
See, I feel like if your parents were like, "Hey, we want to cruise, let's go," I'd be like, "Let's go."
And I would be like, I don't know, because I also am afraid of the ocean. Are you looking to buy or sell in 2024? Let Amber White help you find your home sweet home. Amber is a local realtor to the Kokomo and Howard County area, and when I say she knows her stuff, she knows her stuff. When we decided to move closer to family, I literally messaged Amber and told her I wanted to sell my house, and then later I want to buy this house, and she made it all happen. Buying and selling is such an overwhelming process, but Amber seriously took care of every single step and eliminated all the stress for us. Her knowledge was invaluable, and while I say I never want to move again, I know exactly who to call if we decide to. Follow her on Facebook at Amber White, Realtor /broker with Carrie Gruhl and Associates, or you can give her a call at 765-865-1118. So in March of 1988, her family did just that. They persuaded her to go on a cruise. They went on the Royal Caribbean International Cruise Ship, Rhapsody of the Seas. Amy's mom recalled that she was really nervous around the ocean, and she wouldn't even go up to the railing.
The mom was, or
Amy?
Oh, Amy
the mom
was, okay.
recalled, like, and she recalled that Amy, like, wouldn't even go up to the railing when they got on the ship. She was like real uneasy about the whole situation, which I feel that I also would be that way. So March 21st, 1988, like I said, Amy and her family boarded the cruise, and they were going to Caraco. Is that how you say that? Caraco?
Sure.
Right? Amy and her brother Brad Bradley, thought that was funny. They decided to stay up late that night. It was the third night of the cruise, and they decided to stay up late. There was a Mardi Gras nightclub party.
Exciting.
Sounds fun. And so they were drinking, they were partying, they were dancing. There was a band, the ship's band, the Blue Orchid, was there, and they were playing. And one of the band's members, he was known as Yellow, like
the color.
The color. No idea why. His real name was Alistair Douglas, but he was drinking with Amy that night. He danced with her, hung out with her. He said that he left the party around 1 a.m. The videographer on the cruise ship, his name was Chris Fenwick. He actually captured a moment on tape of Amy and Yellow dancing together.
Okay.
After a couple of hours, Brad and Amy decided to call it a night.
I'm just trying to picture Raylan bringing somebody home and being like, "Hey, this is my friend Yellow." Be like,
"Bye."
Yeah. See you later.
No, thank you. Anyway, so the ship had these like computerized door locks on them. So Brad and Amy, like, they actually literally like at 3:35 a.m. went into their family cabin. They knew the exact time that they had opened the door. Brad said that him and his sister sat on the balcony and they talked for a while before he went to sleep. Amy stayed out on the balcony. She said she had been feeling a little bit of motion sickness earlier in the day, and she was just going to sit out there and get some fresh air, and she smoked, so she was going to smoke. And so Brad went to bed. Amy stayed out there. Between 5:15 and 5:30 a.m. on March 24th, Amy's dad, Ron Bradley, he woke up to go check on his kids. I literally do this all the time. Apparently it never stops because Brad and Amy were older and he still is going to check on his adult children. He saw Brad was asleep in bed, and when he walked by, he noticed that he saw through the balcony door, it was like a clear glass door, he saw Amy sleeping on the lounge chair on the balcony. He said he could see Amy's legs from about her hips down. The door was closed because he said if it hadn't been closed, he would have gotten up and closed it. He wouldn't have left it open. So he saw her asleep. He saw Brad asleep. He went back to sleep. When he got up about a half an hour later at 6 a.m., Amy was not on the balcony, and her cigarettes and her lighter were not there either. He later said, he told some investigators that he left to go find her. He said he thought it was unusual because Amy wouldn't have left like the whole cabin without like telling somebody where she was going. And she didn't have to leave to smoke. She could have just smoked on the balcony like she had been. And so he went and kind of like looked around for her. Said he didn't really know what to think. He couldn't find her. And again, he didn't think she would leave without telling where she was going. So at 6:30, he went back and woke the family up and was like, so only like 30 minutes. And he was like, where's Amy?
So within a 30 to 45 minute period is when she went missing?
Yes. Yes,
Whoa.
because at like 5:15, 5:30, she was on the balcony. He saw her asleep on the balcony. And by 6, she was not there.
That's sketchy.
Yes, so by 6:30 a.m.
And she went to bed at like 3:30. Well 4.
3:35 a.m. is when they came back from their party. Right. And then they sat on the balcony for a while talking. And so it's a very short window.
The only thing I can think of is if she was like, oh, I forgot something. I'm going to go get it.
Maybe.
Even then, maybe the timeline of this is wild.
Very small window here. So 6:30 a.m. the family's up and they're like, okay, Amy's not here. Where is she? They immediately went to the ship's crew and reported her missing. The ship was docking at 8 a.m. that morning in Caraco, and all of the 2,000 passengers on the ship were going to get off. And so the family was like, before all these people, like before there's a way to get off this ship, we would like to find our daughter.
Sure.
And so they basically, like, they said they like pleaded with the crew members, like, to make an announcement over the intercom, like, Amy, can you, like, you know, paging Amy, can you please report back here? And they said it was too early in the morning because it was before 8 a.m. So people were sleeping.
That's an emergency situation.
Yeah.
I guess that's tough. She's an adult.
Yeah.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't do that. And so they finally agreed to make the announcement at 8 a.m. However, most of the passengers were already gone because they had already, like, docked and, like, had been able to leave for the day. Because, you know, when you, like, dock on cruises, how you can go out and, like, explore the area or whatever. Yeah. So they, most of the passengers were gone, but they did announce, will Amy Bradley please come to the purser's desk? But whatever. She never came. Nobody ever responded to the announcement. Between 12:15 and 1 p.m., the staff searched the ship. They said they did a thorough search of all the rooms, everything. They could not find Amy anywhere. The delay, though, for the search is said to have led to, like, significantly lowering the chances of finding Amy within the first couple of hours.
Again, though, that's tough.
They shouldn't have allowed those passengers to...
What time is it, 12?
12:15, 1 o'clock, they did the search.
I mean, that's 6 hours. Like, that, if this was...
Exactly.
If this was in Indianapolis, we'd be like, good job.
Yeah.
I feel like for an adult to start looking 6 hours after they've been missing, that's a good job.
Yeah. But also, like, are you really going to ruin all these people's vacations because an adult has been gone for an hour and a half?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
So, and that's from the cruise point of view. Like, listen, we're not going to not let these people off the ship.
Totally different.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, the Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard conducted a 4-day search of the ocean. It ended on March 27th. They did not find any signs of Amy in the ocean. The Royal Caribbean Cruise actually chartered, after the Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard called off their search after 4 days, the Caribbean Cruise Line actually chartered their own boats and paid for it to continue looking because it was one of their guests that went missing. And so they also chartered a boat to continue looking for her. They never found any sign of her. The Coast Guard used 3 helicopters and a radar plane. Never found anything. So initially, authorities said that Amy had either fallen overboard or jumped overboard for suicide. This was pretty much discredited pretty soon by Amy's family completely because, one, she was a very strong swimmer. She was a lifeguard, remember?
Right.
And so they said, had she fallen overboard, they think that she would have been...
That's a far fall, but go ahead.
I don't know how far of a fall it was, though.
I mean,
I don't know where
the shortest distance of a fall from a room, I feel like, is still a far fall. Go ahead, sorry.
They think that she would have been able to keep herself above water, swim until they started searching the next day, the waters. And then they also said that she never would have... Not only was she not suicidal, she never would have done it by jumping in the ocean because she was terrified of it. And so that was pretty much kind of ruled out pretty close to the beginning. And then there was
also, I feel like if that's what you're going to do, you're probably going to wait till after the cruise.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows? So on the morning of her disappearance, 2 passengers told Ron, her dad, that they saw a woman that matched Amy's description taking an elevator to the ship's deck with a pack of cigarettes and a lighter in her hand. However, they did not they were not able to like prove this or find if this was true or not. There was another witness. Her name was Crystal Roberts. She said that she had seen Amy early that morning with the bass player from the band from the night before.
Yellow.
She claimed that they walked up the stairs together to the next deck, and then 10 minutes later he came down without her. Brad, which was Amy's brother, said that Amy told him that the bass player that she was dancing with the night before had gotten a little too close with her.
Whoa.
And she told him that she had to tell him more than once to back off a little bit. So Brad also said that that morning that when they discovered that she had disappeared, before the announcement was ever made, he was actually talking to the bass player because they were out searching themselves. And so he knew that she had been talking to the bass player the night before. And so he was talking to the bass player.
Like, have you seen my sister?
Well,
or yeah.
Before he even said anything about Amy being missing, the bass player said he was sorry about what happened to your sister.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's not a yellow flag. That's not a yellow flag. That's a red flag.
Immediately was strange because only his family and the crew knew that Amy was missing at that point. Right?
I don't like it.
I don't like it, Mr. Yellow. There was no evidence of her that connected him to her disappearance, though. Like, all they had was the one witness who said she thought she saw Amy and him go up on the deck together, but there was no way to prove that it was him and her, and...
I just feel like... What year was this?
88.
I was going to say, security cameras should be everywhere on a cruise ship, but I guess maybe not in 1988.
Now,
yeah,
but yeah.
Right.
So there was another witness, a cab driver. He stated that right after
in Caraco?
In Caraco, right after the boat docked, a frantic American woman matching Amy's description ran up to him and begged him to use a phone. He assumed she was drunk and he just left.
Ouch.
Yeah. The sighting was never confirmed by authorities, though. In August of 1998, so a year later, a Canadian computer engineer claimed that he saw Amy walking down the beach in Caraco with two men. This was 5 months after her disappearance that was made public, I guess. The witness noticed that the woman was trying to get his attention. And then he said he lost sight of her, but he said he was at one point only 2 feet away from her, and he was able to accurately describe her tattoos.
That's wild.
Yeah. He said that when the men noticed that she was trying to get his attention, they like whisked her away.
That's scary, man.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. So in January of 1999, a U.S. Navy petty officer claimed that he saw a woman at a brothel in Caraco. I'm sure he was there just
scoping it out.
He probably stumbled in the brothel by accident for sure. Yeah. I'm sure he didn't mean to be there. Anyway, this woman came up to him and he said that she ran up to him and she said, "My name is Amy Bradley," and she was begging him for help. She explained that she was being held against her will. She was not allowed to leave, blah, blah, blah. He didn't report this incident because he was in the Navy and he wasn't supposed to be at the brothel.
Oh, no.
Like, excuse me?
Can you imagine being in that situation? Like, oh my gosh, a naval officer.
You're an American.
Yeah.
This American woman is coming up to you begging you for help.
Like, you'd be like, thank God there's an American military man here.
He contacted Amy's family with this story after he retired from the Navy, and he saw a picture of her in a magazine, and he remembered this encounter and was like,
that's her.
Oh, crap.
Yikes, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me sick.
Yeah. Stanley Cleaning Company has an exciting new service they are offering, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Laundry. Yes, they will come to your house, and for $15 a load, they will pick it up, take it, wash it, dry it, fold it, and bring it back to you. This is something I have dreamed about since I became an adult and started doing laundry on my own. Hit them up and get your place cleaned and your laundry done by my friends over at Stanley Cleaning Company. You can find them on Facebook or give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606. Another potential sighting happened in March 2005. There was a witness named. She was in a department store in Barbados, and she said that this woman came into the restroom, and these 3 men followed her, and they were threatening her about like a deal or like following through on something. She was in the stall, and so she like heard this, and when she came out, this woman was like crying and seemed really distraught, and she said that the men left, and like so this lady was in there, and so she was talking to her, and the lady told her that her name was Amy and that she was from Virginia, and that she had been taken. And then while she was talking to this, the men came back in and pulled her away.
Wow.
She immediately called authorities. Go Judy. They created a composite sketch of the 3 men and the women based on her account, and the woman's sketch did look like Amy, but they were not able to find anything about this. Yeah. In fall of 1999, Amy's parents got an email.
It's 11 years after she disappeared.
Yep. They got an email from a self-proclaimed Navy SEAL soldier named Frank Jones. Frank told the family that he was a former USA Army Special Officer with a team of experienced soldiers who might be able to rescue Amy. He claimed that his team had seen Amy being held by heavily armed Colombian personnel in a housing complex. They gave an accurate description of Amy's tattoos, and he also was able to sing a lullaby that Amy's mom used to sing for Amy when she was little.
That's so sketchy. Good grief.
Right? And so this made the family think that Frank had actually encountered Amy.
And was also holding Amy. I mean, just like, that's
no,
weird
they didn't think he was holding her.
That's so sketchy to
He
me.
said that he had, seen her being held. And
you don't
blah,
just
blah,
see
blah.
people and be like, here's a lullaby my mom used to sing me.
I don't know how they came to the lullaby conclusion, or the story, but whatever.
I don't like it.
Over the next few months, Frank was giving news to the family about how like they were watching this like housing complex and there were sightings of Amy. When Jones told them that they were going to attempt a rescue on Amy, him and his team, he threw in the fact that he was going to need about $200,000 to carry out this rescue. And so the Joneses sent it to him.
Oof.
Or the Bradleys sent it to Frank Jones. They expected a call from Jones or his team with the results of the rescue, and it never came.
That sucks.
Jones made everything up and scammed the Bradleys out of that money. And then in 2002, federal prosecutors actually were able to charge him with fraud, and the National Missing Children's Organization was able to he had scammed them as well, because apparently they had like donated a lot of the money or something like that, and so he actually pleaded guilty to mail fraud, and he was sentenced to 5 years in prison, which is not enough because you're a piece of shit if you do that to a family of the missing. I cannot imagine a person, which happens in all these cases so often. They give this family hope, and I just cannot even imagine And especially after they had so many possible sightings of her, and then you have this guy come forward that seems so credible. They already think there's a chance. Like, they believe she's alive.
Sure. Obviously, they believed enough to send $200,000.
Yeah, and it's 5 years is not enough for you, sir. Literal garbage. Anyway, so there was another incident. A human jawbone washed ashore in Aruba in 2010. You might remember this because Natalie Holloway went missing in Aruba. And so they were wondering if it could have been Amy Bradley's or Natalie Holloway's. There was a couple other American women that have went missing from this tropical area. But once the jawbone, it was cleared to not be Natalie Holloway's. Apparently, I don't know what went on with this. I was researching this and looking into this, but the authorities seized it. And they didn't there's 9 other Caribbean vacationers, women, that have been missing from the Caribbean.
I think it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. White women going missing on Caribbean cruises, Caribbean vacations. Yeah. They didn't test it anymore, though. They said the bone was from Caucasian origin. Why aren't we testing that?
Right. That's weird.
I couldn't find anything that said why they didn't test it. I have no idea why. very weird on that one. Amy's mom and dad appeared in 2005 on an episode of Dr. Phil.
Whoa.
An image of a woman wearing lingerie that looked like Amy was emailed to her parents.
Yikes.
And it was shown on the program, and they believed that she might have been sold into sex slavery. The photograph was actually a member of an organization that like they track victims on like websites and stuff, like sex worker websites.
Sure.
And they had come across this picture, and they had thought that it looked like Amy. They knew that she had been missing and possibly had been sold into some sort of sex slavery situation. The woman in the photo was said to appear to be like distraught and despondent, and she had the name Jazz. They like give like a sex worker named Jazz. And the advertisement, it was from a website that advertised love-making trips in the Caribbean.
Yikes.
So yes, they were able to obviously they like looked into this picture, and a couple of the I don't even know what you would call them.
Pimps?
What?
I don't know. Like what?
No,
I'm
talking about authorities.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the people that handled her.
No,
I was like,
no, the authorities. Facial recognition people. They didn't use a facial recognition software, but like the people that looked into it, like they like said it was Amy.
Whoa.
In that picture.
Yikes.
In their opinion. And so I don't know what you want to do with that. But another piece of evidence is the inconsistencies of the witnesses on the night of her disappearance. Amy's mom said she remembers watching people watch Amy. She said that like the cruise ship, like she said there was like a waiter that was like enamored with her, and like had tried to like had this like note, and he like had given it to like Amy's dad to like give to Amy at like dinner a couple nights before.
That's weird.
She said, and her mom said,
I
like,
think this girl's so pretty.
Amy would
I'm
have
gonna
been
give a note
a
to her
trophy.
dad.
Like Amy would have been a trophy is what her mom said. And so they said they've always had these like suspicions of like the staff, the band. The night before the disappearance, like the band member Yellow, he his story of like going to bed that night at 1 was like different than what they had because there was footage, there was security cameras, just like not great ones. They captured him like out past 1, so that was like inconsistent. A lot of people thought about the waiter too. Like I said, that same waiter had approached Amy's family and was like a note for her. Like
that's weird.
The note like asked her if she wanted to go out to go get a drink or something.
That's very weird.
Also, something else that Amy's mom found suspicious was that there was a professional photographer on the ship that just like would take pictures like of everybody. You know how like when you board the ship, there's like family picture here, like family picture over here, and then you can go back and buy them. When she went back, like herself, they went to the photographer to go find all the pictures like from that night, like from that day, just to see if they could see anything. Every picture with Amy in it had like was gone. Like they didn't have any pictures with Amy in it.
That's weird.
Including their family picture that they had taken. Like it was gone.
So there just wasn't a family picture?
Yeah. And so the mom was like, it felt like evidence had been like taken. Like they had made sure that there was no pictures of Amy.
That is sketchy.
Yeah. So another theory is that Amy was murdered on the ship and thrown overboard. However, again,
they searched the waters.
No evidence, and they searched it. The only evidence would be that jawbone, which
also they would have had a very small window.
Yeah,
I feel like she had to have left that place on her own in that small window.
The authorities still say that Amy either fell overboard or jumped overboard as a suicide. That is the theory that comes from investigators. Obviously, her family doesn't believe that. A lot of people don't believe that. You can go down some serious rabbit holes. Reddit,
Sure.
I love a good conspiracy theory, but most of them, the biggest one is that she was taken and sold into sex slavery. Like I said, 9 American women have went missing while vacationing in the Caribbean. There is like a very big sex slavery ring over there that people, it's like known about but not known about kind of thing.
Yikes.
And so a lot of people believe that that's what happened to her. She was declared legally dead on March 24th, 2010, 12 years after her disappearance, because there was no witnesses and no body. The FBI has a reward of $25,000 for any information that could lead to the recovery of her body or her, or to an arrest or conviction of the person responsible for her disappearance. And then on top of that, the family has a $250,000 reward for any information leading to her safe return. And they also have a $50,000 reward for information leading to her current location, because they believe that she is alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's so scary. That makes me sick to my stomach.
I know. I cannot imagine.
I mean, like
I
my
always
guess,
have said,
like in Taken, you know how they have like that dude that like hits on the girl at the beginning? Like that's Yellow. That's like what my brain is. Yellow was the dude. They were like, hey, let's get a band member on a cruise ship.
Idea. It could be any of them. It could have been the waiter. It could be any of the staff. Honestly, and like when you hear about people that go,
it's probably a team of people.
Those stories that, I know, I don't want to be like saying things like, overly that dramatic. Only happens in the movies. I don't want to be dramatic, but like, you know, you hear those stories about people that do vacation in other countries, and they are the staff. I mean, you know, and even not getting kidnapped and sold into sex slavery, but like things being taken from your room and things like that. Like people get employed at these cruise ships and these resorts and stuff, so they can do things like that, so they can steal, so they can do stuff. And so it's not actually, I wish it was more far-fetched than it is, but it is not that far-fetched to think that she could have been taken and still be alive somewhere and sold into some sort of sex slavery situation. It's absolutely terrifying. Yeah, so that's the story of Amy Lynn Bradley. I think I would have to believe that she's probably still out there.
I mean,
I don't know that she...
That's almost 40 years ago. So how old was she when she...
22.
22.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, maybe not saw there, but I don't know that she died on that ship that night.
I don't think so either.
I don't think she died that night.
That's so sad. Dang it.
That's the story. Cruise at your own risk if you travel. I have absolutely no desire to travel outside of the United States, probably because I'm a crime junkie and I listen to too much true crime and watch too much true crime. But if you do, just be careful. Watch your back.
Extra careful. Be careful. Annoying.
Be annoying. Be weird. Be rude to people. Don't be afraid to be rude to people.
Stick to your posse. Like, don't go off by yourself.
Don't do things that could be dangerous. That's our advice.
Be careful, people. This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I. Whether you're a team of 1 or 1,000, Bo Digital can help make your marketing goals a reality.
Let's be honest, most of us who run our own businesses need help in the marketing category. Either you have no clue what an algorithm is, or you do